everyone, it's Laurie from Cook Scrap Craft. I'm back today with another process video from my Scrapbook and Cards Today Inspiration series. And I'm not gonna lie, I made this layout in July because I was trying to be ahead of the game and have a surplus of videos just ready to go for this series. So I'm gonna do my best to tell you what the process is for this. Yeah, it's been a while. So basically, I'm doing one of the sketches, and this sketch I showed you really quickly is from the summer issue. The fall issue is, of course, already out, but I think you can still view the summer issue as a PDF file from the Scrapbook and Cards Today website, so check that out. But in the sketch, there's a circle, and there are four 2 by 2.5 photos. And then there's something that looks like notebook paper, like notebook paper torn from a spiral notebook. And then there's some little lines. It's like maybe like a solid piece of paper with a border going around it. And then they have little ghost embellishments. We're not ready for Halloween yet here. So what I decided to do, you can see I took a piece of orange paper that looked like notebook paper, and I have a paper punch. I don't have one that makes it look like a spiral notebook thing, but I do have different paper punches. So I picked one. It's got like a kind of a scalloped pattern down at the bottom. And so to sort of recreate my own version of what I saw in the sketch, I just punched the bottom of that notebook paper. And now I'm using my Creative Memories circle cutter system. I'm sure it actually has a more official name, but that's what I'm calling it. I'm using that to cut out a circle. The paper that I am using there is very, very old. It was from my mom's scrap bin, and I believe it's from SEI, which I don't think they're an actual company anymore. It's really sad because I remember all of these companies. Like when I first really started focusing on scrapbooking as a hobby in 2006, there was Basic Gray, Sassafras, SEI. K & Company is still around, but I don't feel like it's as big as it was. Or some Cosmo Cricket. Oh my gosh, October Afternoon. All these really, really great companies, and now there are still great companies out there, but I had faith. Like I really loved Cosmo Cricket and I really loved October Afternoon, and it's not the same without them, especially when certain scrapbook manufacturers have a monopoly on scrapbook companies. And so you're like, oh, look at this cool company. Oh, it's owned by this company. Oh, look at this one doing its own thing. Oh, it's owned by this company. And so I feel like there's not as many unique scrapbook manufacturers out there, or at least not as many unique big name scrapbook manufacturers out there, because so many are owned by one company that I will not name, but I'm sure you know who it is. So anyway, let's talk about the layout. I've got two pieces of pattern paper here. I think both are from my mom's scrap bin. They were the larger pieces. One is sort of like a red polka dot pattern, and the other one has like clocks on it. So you can see there's a black and white side where white is the background, and then the other side has black as the background. So I'm using the black side because I like the way it contrasts with the red and some of the other colors in these pattern papers that I'm choosing here. I've got some multicolored stripes. I've got the flowers in the SEI and then the orange. And there are like strips of something, some sort of trim or what have you in the sketch. So I'm going to use this black and white ribbon that came in an older Not Just for Boys Kit Club kit. I got the February kit from them, and that ribbon was part of it, which is really cool. I don't use ribbon as much as I should, or as much as I used to. I used to have a whole big drawer of ribbon and twine and rickrack, and I just never really used it that much, and I actually got rid of a whole bunch of it, I guess earlier this year or last year. So I think I have like 2 things of twine right now. So anytime I get just a sampling of ribbon, I do like that. So people who make scrapbook kits, a sampling of ribbon or some sort of trim, some sort of fabric, whatever, pom-poms, that's always nice to have. I don't want to buy a whole big roll. I just like a little bit. So yeah, now I just have to, I Frankensteined the 2 pattern papers in the back to make the background. Now I'm just getting the rest of the pattern papers down. And you can kind of tell, I had to Frankenstein the papers because I'm using stuff from my stash, just bits and pieces, leftover things from my mom's scrap bin, the pieces that were a larger size that I wasn't going to cut down or punch down into different shapes. I knew I could save it for, backgrounds and things like that. And now I just have to figure out the placement of all the other things. So the original sketch had 4 small photos. I'm using 3 2x3 photos that I printed on my Canon IV mini printer. And I'm going to sort of change, well, I've kind of already have changed up the overall layout. I mean, I still have the circle, and I still have that like notebook style paper on top of the circle, but the original sketch had the 3 photos going on the left-hand side of the circle. I'm putting 2 up at the top right. And I'm going to add my, again, more of the embellishments would have been in the original, but, I need to just kind of change things up because I didn't really I felt like the way I put the circle and the background papers, it just wouldn't have made much sense to put the photos on the left and then have something else coming in on the bottom right, because the circle was right there. So I kind of like that I'm creating a diagonal going from the top right. It's going to be ending with the bottom left. And that just pleases me more than trying to do something else. And I'm sorry that my head is in the way, but sometimes you have to get really close to the paper to see what you're doing. So I've got some of the ribbon at the very top with one of the Paige Evans, I think it was Wonders, little, what are those called? I know someone has told me in a process video before, and now I can't remember, but they're fun embellishments, whatever they are. Rosettes, they're kind of like rosettes. I don't know. So I put one of them at the top, so that's going to be an embellishment cluster there. I've got a little bit of the ribbon peeking out behind the 2 photos there, so it's all going to be tied together. And then the embellishment that I used, I don't think I had any more of the Paige Evans things, or I had some, but they weren't the right colors or something. So that's the embellishment I used is one that I made. It was part of a Scrapbook Generation challenge many, many months ago, and I've just been holding on to it, waiting for the right moment to use it. So it's pink. It's got some of the bright colors in the that sort of match the striped paper that I used, and it's got a nail polish sticker on it, and it says sweet. And I thought, these are pictures of my daughter. She's sweet. She's not doing her nails, but it's, it kind of still works. It's girly and whatever. And then I'm going to add some Doodlebug enamel hearts that these were actually from, I think, the August Chamel Best of Both Worlds kit. They were really awesome. And yes, I'm just going to put a few of those down for some extra dimension, building out the embellishment clusters. I used Eileen's Tacky Glue to glue my ribbon down. If anybody has a good lead on, maybe I should just use red tape. We just get it a thinner red tape, because I used to have specifically ribbon tape, and I can't remember who made it. It was many, many years ago. I won a prize package from them, and it was amazing. And so they had ribbon tape, they had vellum, specific vellum adhesive. And it was so great. And I have no idea. I have no idea what the manufacturer was. But if anybody might know, it's a company that makes ribbon tape, it makes vellum tape. Let me know who that might be in the comments below. Or if you purchase specific items like that, let me know what you guys use. And also, if you have any questions or comments about the products that I'm using or anything that I've done on this layout, definitely leave me a comment. Leave that question in the comments below, and I will do my best to answer it. I am just now creating a title using 2 different types of alphas. So I've got some old Ellie Studio alphas, and I'm not going to lie, for a long time I thought it was Elle Studio. Elle Woods from Legally Blonde. And then I actually started watching people's process videos who were on the design team, and they're like, Ellie Studio. And I'm like, oh, okay. That reminds me, there used to be a kit club called Noelle Mignon or something. And for a long time, I thought it was Noel. I'm like, oh, is there a man named Noel making scrapbook kits? They were the most amazing scrapbook kits, and they were crazy expensive because they were so amazing. And I never got one, and I don't think they're around anymore. But it was Noel, like Christmas Noel. So, anywho, and that I also used to think that Ina Garten, the chef from Food Network, I used to think that the name of her show was in a garden. I might have told you this story before, because I didn't know what her name was, and it was just like, it would it would come up on the bottom of the screen when you're watching the show, and it was like her out in like the fields or the garden or whatever, and I'm like, oh, Barefoot Contessa in a garden, but her name is Ina Garten, and I'm kind of dumb. Anyway, so I'm finishing up this layout. I added some of the extra American Crafts thickers. They had like hearts and stars, so I'm just putting a few of those all around. Again, just to kind of build up some of the clusters and add some extra dimension. I love those thicker letters. I'm sure they're still available because they've only been out for a couple months, so definitely try to find those if you can because they're really, really cool. And then I'm just adding my journaling about my kid who loves having her picture taken and making weird poses, which is why I titled this Strike a Pose. The close-ups are going to follow. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so you don't miss out on another process video. And give this video a thumbs up like. And I will see you guys the next time on my channel. For my Tuesday process video, stay tuned. Thanks!